People, welcome to Never a Foul. It's a bit of a sour taste at the moment, not just because controversy with VAR and everything, but we're going to be joined by Kunle, two Arsenal fans, probably got two different perspectives on things. Kendall is here, Jules will be here, Daps is here, and I'm filling in for Ty. But yeah, man, look, let's talk football. I'm going to make a little statement, obviously, but I don't want it to make it about that because I know people are eager to understand situation stuff. Look, Mo has been paid. Both sides have acknowledged things, yeah? We don't need to say anything, what's it called? We don't need to say anything to condemn no one, innit? It's as simple as that. We want a good resolution. He wants a good resolution. And we'll provide further updates. All I can say is, look, we're sorry for what happened, yeah? Because this didn't need to happen. We're like, Mo knows we're sorry. Saint verse vice. To the guys, to the public, you don't need this crap as well because we just want to talk football. So for me, to you guys in the comments, we apologize. Me to Mo, I apologize. Daps apologizes. It is what it is. Things have been done in it. Look, we're grown men. At the end of the day, we're grown men. Yeah. And that's it like that, man. Like we can move on and then obviously we'll provide you lot with further updates. But one thing we don't owe is anyone the full exclusive stuff because look, if we made a response video out of a reaction which YouTube favors, yeah, then he's gonna provide a reaction. Then it's gonna go back and forth rather than talking about it on like how me and Lee are right now. And then someone else makes content about it. Then someone else does it, and then it gets messy, innit? But you know what? Look, end of the day, look. Mo can do whatever he needs to do. We did what we need to do. He might be back on the channel. You know, we don't know. Like, there's an offer there. It's as simple as that. But let's talk and let's talk football and talk about yesterday because there was a.
Sorry, can I just add quick? I don't want people to think that I've got nothing to say, but I really am. Listen, I know I say a lot. Often I fire off the hinge. People, I've seen the comments. Yes, do you know what? I am fighting alcohol. It is what it is. Yeah, you can say all of that. But this is hard, isn't it? Yeah, it's hard. Like, I don't need to go into details about our relationship with Mo and about how anyone feels. Yeah, Mo has now been paid. The payment was withheld for reasons which we kind of hope we can resolve with him. Yeah, we hope we can because we wish him nothing but the best. Trust me, if someone has met my daughter and spent time with my daughter and my mum, it's not good. Yeah, so. Anyway, we're going to go back to Never a Foul that started in September 2020, talking about football, not making a penny, yeah? So people, you will boycott us. You will take his side. That's normal. I respect it, right? That's fine. We are now, from this point on, we're not going to talk on it. Comments, if you want to spam, you do it all the time anyway. Spam away, say boycott, unsubscribe, do all of that. We're just going to be here and talk football and move on from that, yeah? It's simple as that. Let's go.
Yeah, man. It's as simple as that. It is what it is, man. Look, you know who else paid? You know who's been paid? Maybe the ref on that Newcastle game. Maybe that. But you know what? Here we're joined by Kendall. We're joined by Lee, and that's a fresh background for Kunle. You look Chris.
Can you hear me though?
Oh my god! Here we go. Where's your mic?
But how do I sound? Like I'm like 50 meters away from the mic or what?
No, you just sound like you're in like a bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm in an office, yeah.
Are you still wanting to do your Oyana and all that kind of
stuff? My people is just asking, man, from the motherland. If you didn't know before, today you go understand. I don't know how I'm sounding, but bear with me for today. Technical, go on.
All right, we'll just use you like Dread, Specs. We're gonna have to treat you like that today.
Yeah,
we saying Lee, man. We saying Lee, man. Yeah. We say Lee, man.
Man, Ill. I still love Kendall, but I don't like your team. That's it.
That's okay.
That's it, man.
Is that all you got to say, Lee?
Yeah.
He's done that.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Everyone's ill. I got spare stuff to be doing today as well. It's long. I got big stuff to do. Life is long.
Boy, Kendall, what are you saying? Was you there yesterday?
Yes,
Of course she was there.
indeed.
Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. Of course she was there.
Because I was, I was a couple of meters away from the pitch. So yeah, it was nice.
She was she almost didn't you see her? She almost gave Havertz a kiss, innit?
Yeah, maybe like a Glasgow kiss. Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I was going for. But yeah, then obviously I went to GLS on the night, so that was fantastic scenes, guys.
Because beat again.
Exactly. See, so it's just one of those things. I had a wonderful day yesterday. I had a wonderful day. I am really sorry to the people that aren't having a good weekend, but I had a nice day. Thank you.
George will be coming at some point, and you already know what it's gonna be like with that guy coming in. The only team unbeaten, the only team of this. It's going to be very, very shameless. But we're here to talk right now. Newcastle's win, the controversial win, you could say. We'll debate it. Also, probably a little bit of Man United, maybe towards the end. We have to talk about that man, Jeremy Doku. And people need to. Can you? What's it called? Can someone actually explain to me what baby Doku is?
I don't get this baby Doku thing. I don't get the baby Doku thing. There must be a reason for it. Yeah, there must be a reason for it. I don't understand why it's called baby Doku. Someone said Hamza came up with it, but I don't know about that. But yeah, listen, either way, are we going to get into that later? Let's talk on the Newcastle. We really need to get into, we can talk on City later. We need to get into this Newcastle Arsenal game. I don't know if we start with talking about the controversy, because there is controversy. The fact that there was 3, I think, did they check all 3 things?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was 3 things. I think there's actually, technically, there's a 4th that didn't get checked.
What was that?
No, there was 4 things that got checked, but 3 got announced in the stadium. So
there's 4?
I think
a handball.
You remember Daps? Do you remember?
No, I thought the handball. There was definitely not a handball, though. I remember seeing that. I thought there was at first, but then when you saw it, kind of went into it.
I don't think it went to VAR in terms of like an actual check where it gets announced, like, we're checking this, but they did check it. Apparently, I'm not obviously privy to what goes on in the VAR room. But what
were you saying, Kendall, man? Yesterday, it's not like you didn't play great, but I don't think it's not like you played bad either. I think defensively, you lot were sound. Jamie Lascelles, stand up. Livramento, stand up. I mean, I think even if Dan Burn was crawling, he'd look like he'd probably be taller than most people, but.
Yeah, he's got a good weight to fall, and that's what I was laughing at yesterday, because I was like, he's actually got to fall like 19 foot when he jumps, so I'm not surprised that he's got a bad back now. But it was a strange.
Was that it? He had a bad back. That was it.
He's got a bad back, but Eddie Howe in his post match yesterday said he thinks it's quite bad, so I'm not sure what's wrong with him or anything. Might just be bruising at this point, with like swelling and stuff, so we don't know how bad it's going to be, but I don't know how much more injuries we can take at this point. But it was a strange game, because I thought Arteta's comments were a bit weird, saying that they were the only ones that were trying to win, which I didn't think was true. When I watched the game yesterday, I thought that was just a little bit disingenuous from him. I thought both teams played okay. It was probably not the best game from both of us. And then obviously what happened, which we'll probably get onto. But yeah, it was just one of those games. It went exactly the way I thought it was going to go in terms of the style of playing tactically and things like that. I knew we would cancel each other out in a lot of areas. And yeah, neither goalkeeper realistically was challenged much throughout the game at all. It was just one of those things. Defensively, I thought both sides were fine. Attacking wise, we were maybe just a little bit better, but not miles ahead. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. If that thing hadn't happened yesterday and it had ended 0-0, there would have literally been nothing to talk about, like genuinely nothing to talk about, because it was just one of those sort of games. But
it was a fiery game, wasn't it? It was like, it felt,
Very.
you were there.
Yeah.
Did it feel fire? Like, if I think of fiery City games, I always think of the Atletico Madrid away game in the quarterfinal. And like, I had friends messaging me when I was in the stadium saying like, it seems heated in there. And I was like, yeah, it is heated in here. But was it the same there? Because it just seemed from early doors. I remember saying to Cass, I can see someone getting sent off in this game, because it just seemed, I mean, look, Havertz got 3 players fucking booked.
Yeah, it's become one of those fixtures now, I think, strangely. I don't know why, for whatever reason, but since the first like time around when we beat Arsenal, and then obviously they beat us the following year, and then it was 0-0 at the Emirates, and Arteta was on about time wasting and stuff.
Yeah.
I think just since then, it's just been one of those fixtures that is like more fiery than most, for whatever reason, I don't know, but as soon, like literally from the minute one yesterday, it was fiery, and it was like feisty. So probably gonna get worse now. The away fixture's gonna be 10 times worse. So
yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
Does anyone think there was, before we get right, was the ball over the line, Lee?
In terms of out, do you mean?
I don't necessarily think whether or not if it was out or not. That's the issue that for me, because ultimately, if it's not conclusive, cool, you go with whatever the decision is on the pitch. Me personally, I just don't know how Bruno stayed on the pitch. That's just my thing, and that's where I'm annoyed, because ultimately, I think that was clearly that was a red card all day. That's my opinion, and that's the thing about football. It's all about opinion, objective. But I genuinely don't know how he stayed on the pitch. For 2 tackles for me, I thought Callum Wilson, I thought you went down in my estimations personally. I thought you were very, 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 very out of order with how you was playing on the pitch yesterday. And I even think Dan Burnley was quite cheeky with how he played. But that's just my opinion on it. But with all the other stuff, I think is subjective. Do I think it should have been a goal because of the push in the back? Yeah, I think if you see both hands in the locked position, it looks like he's doing CPR on somebody. So listen, that's just my opinion. But listen, Havertz, I can say the same thing. I thought his tackle, it could have been a yellow, it could have been a red. Do I think
I can't lie. I don't think, for me, personal level, football's contact sport. Not every leg that goes high, is going to be a red card. Was it reckless? Yes, but again, I think it's subjective.
The reason why I can see why Newcastle fans would, and even any other fan might think it's a red card for Havertz, is because ultimately you have to be in control of your body. So as a Newcastle fan, I'm like, or a Newcastle player, you have to have care for the opposition. That you can't just think, oh well, yeah, it was an accident. Accidents happen, but ultimately it could have still been a red. So I don't think it was a red, but I can get that. But for Bruno to stay on the pitch, I think that was as clear as day. And I do think that there was leverage for it to be a handball. But listen, that other stuff I'm not really too worried about, because ultimately that's not Newcastle fans, or that's not Newcastle, the players, that they didn't do anything. I'm not sitting here thinking, oh, well, like Kendall's the reason why that he stayed on the pitch. Like, that's just the most ridiculous thing ever. And listen, before we get into all of that stuff, do I think Arsenal deserve to win the game?
That's where I wanted to end up,
No, but the reason why I didn't say it first is because you asked me.
No. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Then I thought, I didn't want to start with Arsenal slander.
I don't think Arsenal deserve to win the game. I don't think Newcastle deserve to win the game. And I think Kendall's analysis, you was at the game, so you would see it even more. I don't think any of the team really played well enough to win the game. I'm just talking about a clear and obvious decision, which I think the referee bowled, which was the Bruno thing, and that's
that ref lost. Can we
lost control
from the Havertz decision, which I think was a red. He was off the floor with 2 feet. It was red, and I was right in front of it as well, because it was where I was sat. So, well, I sit here where the dugouts are, and the challenge was here, so I saw it really, really clearly. Obviously, I know in the moment it's different, but and I've seen it a few times since, and it's not even like from a biased point of view, but I know that there's a grey area with refereeing, but I do think that was a red. However, from that point onwards, he'd lost the game completely by then, because then he yellow carded Sean Longstaff, who was the one who was fouled, which was just bizarre anyway. Fair enough, everyone else getting angry and whatnot, but it was just bizarre. Like, that whole situation was just strange for both sides, and he completely lost the game from that point onwards. And then every decision, this is where referees don't understand that they're part of the problem, because every decision from that point onwards was then under a microscope, because the fans were obviously singing, you don't know what you're doing, you're not fit to referee and things like that from that point onwards. Arsenal fans started shouting it later on, so everything was just under a microscope from that point onwards. So yeah, it just wasn't great. Obviously the goal, everyone's talking about the goal. There was 3 times where they tried to get that goal chalked off, which was quite funny. It wasn't funny at the time, but when I think about, we were sat in the stadium looking at the screen, and it was like, right, VAR check, offside. VAR check, ball out of play. VAR check, foul. I was like, they're waiting to get this goal chalked off, and it's not gonna be a goal. I was just like, it's not gonna be a goal.
I didn't think it was good. I thought usually you can kind of look at things that go to VAR and think, do you know what? There's probably a rule where, like, I don't know where it's 1 in 3 get chalked off or 2.
Yeah.
And I thought there's no way all 3 are going to pass. But do you know what? I think as well I've got this real issue this season with how cards don't add up. Yeah, we were talking about the Havertz thing, and was it one that I'd look at and go, that's a definite red? No. Right. Was it definite yellow? Yes. But here's the thing. You get a yellow for that, which was, I wouldn't say it was right. Ultimately, because 1 of his feet and potentially 2 were off the ground, yeah, you could say it was out of control. But for me, it wasn't dangerous, right? But at the same time, if you're getting a yellow card for kicking the ball away once, it don't make sense that you also get a yellow card for a tackle like that. And I just think it's another thing, like with the consistency, it's like these rulings don't add up, because ultimately, and again, your 3 players that basically were aggrieved, so went to the player and had a moan, right? They got a card for that. Then if one of them happened to kick the ball away, they get another yellow card. And it's like being at school. It's teachers just basically flexing. And sorry, one last thing I'd say. In rugby, yeah, I'm telling you now, that situation would have been handled different by the referee. The referee would have understood and shown the players, I understand why you're frustrated, but give me 1 minute to explain myself, and then I'll speak with your captain, and that's it, yeah? And the respect would be, okay, cool. But the football refs just seem to give cards out. Like, it's like, oh, you think you can talk to me? You're getting a card now. And I think they're being told to do that, just like...
Celebrity wannabes. They just want to make a name for themselves every week now. Like I'm even tired that we have to spend another week talking about VAR and referees, because we're just making them popular again. We're just making them the celebrity figures that they want to be. Topics that people discuss. Like, I'd love to just come on here and just bitch and moan about the referee decisions. And let's be honest, it was stinking, but it's every week now. Like, what am I going to say? Every week. Do
you know what, though, Kunle? Do you know what? I just want to say as well, I actually feel like the referee was...
just, sorry, boom, 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 and nothing happens. They referee in the championship for 1 week. Who cares?
I feel like the referee was more on Arsenal side. I think we got a lot of fouls.
I agree yesterday.
I think Eddie Nketiah. I think Saka got a lot. I think what's his name? Declan Rice. I think Georgie. I feel like we did get the rub of the green in terms of the small decisions. So I'm not sitting here saying that it was
an awfully. Come on, don't do that.
No. That's what I said. I did say that. I said, listen, for me, I think Bruno should have given sent off. I don't know how he was on the pitch, but listen, Newcastle are going to have their opinions on who should have been sent off for Arsenal. But ultimately, if you look at it, I think there was only one team that I do think if there was one team that was going to win it, I do think Arsenal was a team that was going to win it. I just think they tried a little bit more. I think they were trying to go forward. I think Newcastle had something like 2 shots on target, one which was the goal, and I think Arsenal had 1 shot on target, but we had 14 shots altogether. So I feel like we did try. I think we tried to carve open a little bit more. But listen, that's partially on the team itself. But we can talk about all of the other decisions. Arsenal really didn't play well enough to win the game conclusively, and that's it. But my grievance was with Newcastle players. That was the WWE from some of their players, in my opinion, yesterday. And it's not about Arsenal players being
WWE. You know what it is, yeah? With Newcastle, in my opinion, you got sucked into their game, and you also tried to play WWE with them. Like,
the thing is, I disagree.
Tomiyasu got stuck in. Saliba.
Havertz got stuck the hell in, to be fair. Havertz was getting involved.
Can we differentiate between, there's a battle that's on the pitch, because it is going to be a physical battle. yes, Newcastle, if they feel like they want to rough up Arsenal players a little bit, that's a difference to me, to what I saw. I saw on 2 occasions, Callum Wilson put his hand in on an Arsenal player's face. I saw the Dan Burn incident quite a few times on Saka. I saw the Bruno incident twice. For me, again, I saw Jamal Lascelles again putting his hands in positions that you shouldn't be. That's just my opinion on the game from what I saw from an Arsenal point of view. But it's nothing to do with. That's nothing to do with that's having a battle. For me, that's just the way I look at it.
You know what it is? I it's respect to Newcastle, because once they realized they could get away with stuff, they just kept doing it and kept doing it, and they kept.
And that's on the referee. Yeah, that's on the ref. Yeah, the referee.
Yeah,
I think it's weird because I know obviously bias comes into it, but I saw the game totally differently. Like literally, it was for me, especially in the first 20 minutes, it was Arsenal that were putting in all the fouls and stuff and getting away with it. But obviously, whatever, that's by the by. It's just yesterday, it's annoying because I want to like take the 3 points away and be like glad about it, because us beating Arsenal is not a regular thing. Like it's a tough fixture, but just so many sour things happened yesterday. And obviously, I'm leaving in a couple of minutes. I'm going off for Sunday lunch, just try and sort my head out. But it was obviously really bad yesterday because the club have actually had to come out and condemn racist abuse again, which is just annoying. And it's week in, week out, and I'm sick of it now. It's like getting to a point, not just for us either, like every single club. And it's genuinely getting to a point where I am worried for players' welfares because, well, it's actually got past that point. I'm worried for players because they're getting racist abuse simply for existing and playing in a football match, which is absolutely pathetic, by the way. It happened last time we played Arsenal as well. Joe Linton received it. And it was Bruno received some abuse yesterday. I'm not sure of what kind because I haven't seen that. It was just the club put a statement out today. And I have seen the Joe Willock one. And it's just like, why after a loss is that the thing? And it's not, as I said, it's not our club. It's like every single club and some players experience it. And it's just so sad that we've come away from a game and instead, as Connolly said, instead of talking about the football, it's refereeing decisions. Football's becoming secondary now in every single week because we'll start talking about VAR decisions, contentious decisions, replays, racist abuse, like politics with stuff. Obviously, we've seen it with El Ghazi this week. It's just annoying to me, and it's really frustrating my experience in watching football because I'm coming away from a game sour about other things other than the game. So it's just like really, really frustrating to me.
I think that's what VAR, and that is what VAR's done. There's no coincidence. Look, there was bad decisions before VAR, and we'd go, oh, was that offside? Wasn't that offside? Did the ball go out? Didn't it go out? But it was just accepted that sometimes things are right, sometimes things are wrong, and that's it. But the Liverpool one was a prime example, and now this one, where not only were the decisions wrong ultimately in the Liverpool game, but then the fact that they reacted so quickly to it, spoke on it, apologised. It's like, right, now you have given a week's worth of news because you've just done that. Whereas otherwise, you walk away from the game and go, oh, it is what it is. Like that's swings and roundabouts. It's all changed. But let's move on to the football side. Lee Kunle, where do you think Arteta got it wrong? Do you think it was injuries? What do you think? A mixture of both?
Arteta got it wrong. No, Lee, you go first, actually.
And do you know what? I'll be honest with you. Before the game, I thought we were going to get absolutely battered, and I thought Arsenal put up a little bit of a better performance than what I thought. I thought certain players didn't play well, but listen, ultimately we've got players missing. We had our captain missing, Jesus missing. That would have made a massive difference. Partey missing would have made a massive difference. Newcastle, I'm sure, are going to say the same thing. But for me, Jorginho, I thought he was excellent. I can't believe I'm saying it. I thought Jorginho was really good. I thought Havertz was a lot better. I do. I thought he was good. I thought Declan Rice was absolutely out of this world yesterday.
Yeah, he
running
was
through the middle, dominating. I thought again, Nketiah is a real problem. I thought our defense. I don't even know what Newcastle. I didn't think that Newcastle was going to score basically because our defense was so good. Tom Yasu was excellent. I just, again, I put it down to, I think Raya was at fault. And that's another thing. Raya has to take fault on that goal. That's another thing we need to talk about. As an Arsenal fan, we can talk about all of these things, but he should have stopped the cross coming in from, I can't remember who it was, from Newcastle. Whoever put the cross in from Newcastle, he should have stopped the cross.
Oh, for Newcastle, as that was that not
for the goal, do you mean?
Yeah, for the goal.
Yeah, Murphy. It was like Murphy. It was Shah to Murphy, Willock, Gordon.
Yeah. So that he should have stopped that anyway. So I think that's another thing. So for me, look, like it was poor defending. Ben White should have closed the space as well when the ball went into near the corner flag. So yeah, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, the team was terrible, because as I said, I don't think we were. It's just about the striker position. I think we all know, like, he's Nketiah's just crap. He scored a hat-trick against Sheffield United because they're a League One team, and that's his level. And that's
Is it true that he's got 29 games in about 100 appearances?
29 games in 100 appearances?
No, 29 goals in about 100 appearances, sorry.
Who, Eddie?
I'm not sure, but he's not scored away from home in, I think it's 20 games now. So
that's actually a better return than I thought.
You know what though? So ultimately, I think who should have stopped the game? Did you say Murphy? Did you say
Murphy should have stopped the game? No, stop the cross. No, I'm saying Raya should have stopped the cross.
He should have stopped the cross. Yeah,
Raya to Linton.
Yeah. I think when there's a weight of ball, sometimes I can understand why keepers can't get to it. I think it was that good of a ball, but maybe he could have better positioning and could have collected it better or punched it. We could always do if buts and all that kind of stuff, right? But you know what? One thing I'm trying to think of, like, what I can't knock, like Declan Rice. What a player, bro! When I say hands up, right? When I say hands up to saying I don't rate a player and I don't think he's all that, I think he's all that now, innit? And I can say I'm wrong on that part. Do you get what I mean?
So, Saliba,
like, we can talk about that all day long, but at the same time, I think Newcastle executed a game plan so great, and it might not be great on the eye. And I don't exactly praise Newcastle all the time, right? But
that's an understatement.
I know it. But I think Eddie Howe executed it beautifully for in that game. They made you play to what they wanted, right? They got you sucked into a game where you can't play your own game and stuff like that. Saka, Martinelli, myths. Didn't do anything that game. You know, I think there was like a 2-man press on each attacking player, so they couldn't do nothing. You missed Odegaard, in fairness.
Can I just say as well, though?
They also missed their players.
I feel they got, I guess you could say, lucky, the fact that Liverpool had to come on, because Dan Burn wasn't actually playing well in that first half, I don't think. And I think the fact that he got injured was actually a positive. Not that he got injured, but the fact that he came off the pitch, let me say that. And Liverpool came on, he just literally just nullified anything.
Liverpool, he's just honestly I don't have any worries now of Trippier saying, right, now's the time to slow down, because Liverpool is so good.
We were in for him.
You what?
He got injured at the wrong time. Arsenal were in for him just before his injury, and then
oh really?
Yeah,
I remember that.
Anthony Gordon as well. It's funny because we've capitalised on a couple players like that, because obviously we capitalised on Chelsea's situation this summer with Lewis Hall, because they had to sell at that point, and we kind of played their hand and were like, yeah, let's do a loan this season, obligation to buy, so offsets our FFP. Livermento was the same. We've jumped in at a time when he just come back from injury. It might have been a risk. We paid quite a bit of money for him, obviously 40 million, and he looks amazing. Like, he's literally 2 man of the match performances in like the 3 recent games that he's played. So there was another one. And Gordon as well, because Chelsea were going in for Gordon for 60 million. And for whatever reason, I don't know why Everton didn't take that at the time, because that's a lot of money. And then we obviously capitalised on the fact that we got him and he looks good now. So yeah, but I thought Saliba and Rice were Arsenal's best players yesterday for me. I like Declan Rice, and I think yesterday the way that he carried himself on the pitch for me, considering everything that had gone on with both sides, fouling and whatever, and the battle, like, he's just so classy as a person, like how he is on the pitch, and I respect that so much about him, and I respect the player that he is as well, because he kicked the ball out when Trippier was injured. No one else was interested in doing that whatsoever, and not that you have to do that, but he did it. He was the only one telling everybody to calm down. He was just like, the only thing that happened was obviously him and Bruno had a bit of a to do in the middle of the pitch, but that was it. And he was just really, really classy. And Saliba was brilliant yesterday as well. But my boy Joe Willock again, lovely. Just honestly, the joy that I have, like, it's like pure, unadulterated, like platonic, unconditional love for this bloke. Like, I really, really was so worried about him coming back, because he'd been out for so long and everyone was performing around him, and I thought he's going to struggle so really, really hard to get back into the squad. No, he will not struggle. We'll rotate him because he deserves it. He's absolutely brilliant. He's just been so good. I cannot explain. And for him to obviously have to play against his old club yesterday, the one that he grew up around, and he's had his problems. He said he was super, super homesick when he left, like, and he really did struggle in that first season when we signed him permanently, but he's just been so, so brilliant. And yeah, I'm really, 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 really happy for him. But it was a 3 points. I'll take the 3 points like a thief and I'll go. I will go. I'm burgling those 3 points. You have no idea. But yeah, I'll take
I'm going to try and get through it quickly, Kaz, because I don't know when how long I got this sound and no sound or whatever. So I'm going to go through what I think. I'm not Arteta out, but Arteta doubt is starting to creep in because the manager just decreased. I don't understand. How many times last season did we know that Nketiah and Martinelli don't work together? When Nketiah's up top, Martinelli's going to have a dead game, and everyone's still surprised. Oh, Martinelli wasn't in the game and blah, blah, blah. That's what happens when Nketiah is on the pitch. That's the end. That's it. He's just not good enough. And I'm not mad at Nketiah. I'm mad at Arteta for believing he's the guy that's good enough to shoot us to the title. He's not that guy at the end of the day. So I'm not going to come on here and keep abusing him on his lack of goals and what he does in game because our manager is confident enough about him to give him 100K a week and keep him at the club. Because for me, you either start Havertz in the false line or Trossard in the false line if you're going to play Martinelli. Or you play Trossard on the left instead of Martinelli if you're going to play Nketiah. Just like clear that these things are not working. Like, our front three were horrible yesterday. Havertz was one of our better players, for sure. But even still, he's not doing enough for me. Rice, the guy is world-class. I don't care what anyone wants to challenge me. The guy is world-class. Like, if not for Declan Rice in our midfield, we do not have a midfield. We've been confused all season. The reason why Saka's off, the reason why Odegaard's off, is one thing that I've been preaching since the summer. Is Kai Havertz. He's ruining everything for our club. He's ruining it.
Nah,
because,
man, you're
because since he's been put in as the replacement for Xhaka, the chemistry in our midfield has not been there. So our midfield's not been able to work and develop and create those chances for the likes of Saka and Martinelli like they were last season. It's clear to see. If he went and paid like money for an actual proper replacement for Xhaka, like for like, not some let me build up a player's confidence and figure him out at Arsenal, actually buy a like-for-like replacement for Xhaka, then we wouldn't be having this issue right now. So for me, yesterday wasn't really VAR because we didn't create enough chances to win the game. Yes, terrible refereeing, but we didn't test your keeper, and that's the biggest issue for me yesterday.
Yeah, what are you saying, Lewis? Proper chills. You know what I mean? You're loving this, isn't it?
Right, I'm jumping in because I'm going, everyone. But
in a bit.
decent show. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Congrats on the win. But yeah, it's great to see Arsenal losing 2 in a row. Beautiful scenes.
Should we do it like this then?
Yeah. You know what? I won. I'll take top row. I haven't lost yet this weekend. Hey, you guys need us to stay unbeaten, by the way. You guys are going to be Chelsea fans for the next 2 games.
To be honest, the invincible season died yesterday because we know.
I'd hope so, because we need to knock Tottenham off their perch tomorrow. Obviously, we need to wait and see on that one. But in terms of the game, very physical match between both teams. Don't really think there should be any debate about red cards because Havertz should have been sent off and Joe Linton should have been sent off.
Bruno Gomes should have got sent off. That's one thing that could have changed the whole game. I don't know what it was.
Well, yeah, it was him, not Joe Linton. My bad.
I don't know what takes. I don't know how that didn't go to VAR because if that's anybody else, right, anyone can agree it. Like, bro, if that was against your team, you'd be screaming it, and you can't play double standards here. Like,
but the refereeing was a problem for both sides. Both sides should have had a player off. So it goes 1-1.
Does it?
I think Havertz should have had a second yellow, not an immediate red. Second yellow though.
What, for feet off the ground? I think it would have been harsh if he connected, but I don't think he had his stud showing. So it's not really a thing for me where he might. Again, it's subjective, isn't it?
And that's the first foul though. Like, I thought a yellow was fair. I thought we should have had a second yellow for another incident in the first half. I think it was a second. I don't remember, but there was another one where he should have had a yellow for. That would have been 2. So
yeah, all I know is, like, anybody knows, like, Daps can say it. You know, he's seen it with Rodri in the hands. I've seen it with Casemiro in the hands. Arsenal, I'm not too sure any player that's used their hands at all, Leo, if you can remind me. But bro, if you use your hands in a way that's not needed into somebody's face, unless it's not intention, that was intentional, you get sent off. Is that yes or no?
Yeah, listen, for me, I think I know what Lewis is talking about. In the first half, he obviously had the yellow card. In the second half, he went on a tackle and he had both feet. He went for us, but he kind of slid because of the weather. I think it was the rain, but it could have been another yellow. But I think for me, there was definitely a time when Callum Wilson put his hand in the Arsenal player's face to push him away. There was even in the box. I think it was the second half. I think it was, or it could have been the first. I can't remember. The ball was scrambling, it came across, and I think one of the Newcastle players was literally grappling. Same penalty that Man City got last week. We could have got the same thing. So, listen, however you want to look at it, it's subjective. But I don't know. For me, I just think it was an absolute disgrace how Newcastle players acted on the pitch yesterday. I do think though, like, my issue with maybe some Arsenal fans or people is I think that yesterday Kai Havertz was a lot better. He was a lot better, and people are still gonna. You have to look at the game. If we're talking about the game, I think Kai Havertz was good yesterday, and I think that Jorginho was a lot better yesterday. I mean, that's just the way I look at it, but it doesn't mean that I'm right. I think the people that you need to look at are people like Raya. I just don't think he's good enough. I think he's just crap. I think Nketiah, I think he's crap, and that falls on the manager. I think that's right what Kunle says. I think that falls on the manager. So, yeah, listen, ultimately, we lost the game. We didn't win. We have to take it and move to the next game. But there's going to be their comeuppance, and I honestly hope for every part of my body that Newcastle have a terrible season. I really do.
Can I know you Arsenal fans just a little bit, if you don't mind? Can I do it? As shit as Man United have been, how many points are we behind you?
But that doesn't annoy me.
How many points are you behind them? I'm still not looking at the table until we start winning.
They always say, is this not correct, Daps? They always say the table does not lie. Yeah, the table does not lie.
Listen. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it actually showed me yesterday, though? The fact of this whole like going unbeaten. Going unbeaten is so overrated, right? Because you can go unbeaten, or you can be beaten shitloads like Man United, but get wins instead of draws and end up where you are in the title. So, look, I'm joking. Going unbeaten is very important. I am joking with that, but it does show that when there's 3 points for a win and 1 point for a draw, you can lose 2 games, win 1, or draw 3, and you're on equal points, right? So that's because how Man United are, where they are in this is the most baffling thing I have ever seen. But the table don't lie. Like, the table doesn't lie. They are where they are.
That's two different things. The table doesn't lie, yeah. But you're asking me if I'm annoyed? No, because we know what's going to happen with Man United. I don't think Arsenal fans need to leave that game thinking, oh my God, it's a meltdown. Man United fans, game after game, they're having rants, they're having this, they're having that. So listen,
yeah, it's toxic, bro. It is. You're right.
It goes
I just wanted to throw a shameless 2 pence there, because that's probably the only W I'm going to get other than Luton next weekend. Who have you got?
I think we've got Brentford away.
Good luck. We might be 3 points behind, but to be fair, also have
no. Actually, we've got Burnley. We're Burnley at home, then Brentford away.
Oh, Lauer, you know what? Good luck. The chase is there. We're gonna lose to
Brentford away anyway.
Let me do some. I want to talk about a few more things before we move on to a couple other bits and bobs. Football Band says, "Play to the whistle. We were amateur in that phase." That is rule number 1, or one of them. The first few rules in Sunday football, any football. Big up Wolves for the sticker. Are you sure you didn't want to say something as well? Jay So says Bruno is a red. Havertz should have had 3 yellows. Was that one game before where there was actually 3 yellows given to someone and didn't get sent off?
Yeah, in a World Cup game. I don't remember who. It was some Croatian player. I don't remember who.
Yeah. Tang says Fulham striker Vinicius did the same on Thiago Silva. I agree.
He did it in the game after as well and still didn't get sent off.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. And then Bree, big up for being a member. Wow, for 12 months. I big up yourself. Says, are Arsenal better or worse than last year?
Different.
I'd say worse.
Yeah, I can't lie, Lee. I'm going to say worse. But you know what I don't want to say at this moment of time is I said this about Man City early, and then all of a sudden it came to click, and then you look like a donut. Do you know what I mean? You could say Arsenal haven't clicked yet, and that's the scary part. And it's the same thing with a lot of teams, to be fair. There's just a lot of teams that I feel like are up there that I don't even think are clicking in their full gear. Even yesterday, Man City, that was their... That's Man City at their best, and they didn't even have all their guys on the field. That's the maddest part, and that's how dangerous it can really get at times. Do you get what I mean? I think like, look, let's talk about Saka, innit? Like Saka yesterday, atrocious. I don't care about the video that's doing around saying, "Oh, he looks injured." When you run that long again, that much against Newcastle, you're gonna be jogging like that, right? Martinelli, atrocious. The players just didn't stand up, and I think ultimately it could come down to what you say, Lee, isn't it? Nketiah not just being he can't link up and he can't grab the game by the scruff of his neck because you need a focal point up front.
I mean, look, ultimately, people don't care about context because in the football world, it's all about, the banter, but we haven't had nowhere near our full team. And that's just the way that the cookie's crumbling right now. So we have to hold the L and just keep it moving. Do I think this team's worse than last season? Not necessarily, but do we need to do things differently? And should the manager be implementing different things? Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword, but no one cares about the truth when the lie's more entertaining, right? So
I reckon like we have more options off the bench this season, but we haven't fixed the biggest issue, and that's the loss of Granit Xhaka. And until that gets resolved in our midfield, we're not going to be creating the chances we were last season. Because as much as I never say these words, but I miss him because we didn't replace it. And until we replace it, we're going to still be confused and have these 20-minute moments in games where we look like we're coming back and all that stuff. We're not going to control games like we were. So,
do you know what? There was a period, we all know about it, 3-game period when Man City were without Rodri, and we lost all 3 of them, right? And do you know what? It's fair to say that City were a different team without Rodri. Now, for a couple of weeks, people have been slandering Odegaard, right? They say he doesn't do enough in big games, and maybe it's true, right? But also, he isn't a Kevin De Bruyne. He's not that guy that's going to... He doesn't, get assists, get mad assists. He doesn't get mad goals. But for me, what he does in that midfield and the engine he provides and how he creates space for other players, that goes unnoticed unless you're watching Arsenal consistently. Would it be fair to say that he was a massive, massive miss for you yesterday? That would it have been a different game if Odegaard was in?
no.
You don't think so, no? Lee?
Bro,
No?
I think it would have been a massive miss, bro. I mean, I don't know. Like, I just feel like a lot of people are just this is so high. This is my only issue with football, especially Arsenal fans. But they're so hyperbolic, man. It's like, bro, like, how can Odegaard not be playing and not be a massive miss? But I just can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me, bro. Like, I can't understand.
But wait, but Lee, I get what they're saying, because if you're asking me the Odegaard that we've seen this season being a miss, no, we've not, because we've not seen the Odegaard of last
But
season
you
yet.
can't just go. Listen, football isn't just. It goes in cycles. So one game he might have a bad stretch of games, and then one game might click for him. Listen, was you saying that same stuff when we played PSV at home, when he was absolutely balling? Was you saying like it's just too hyperbolic, man? It's crazy. And you know what? All of these Maddison fans. All of these Madison fans that are going to be saying, "Oh, he's doing all of this amazing stuff." When he falls off, it's just hyperbolic, man. Like the same Odegaard, right, that scored away from the same team last season is the same guy you're saying of this season. It's too much, man. It's too much, bro. Like this is why, like for me, the whole football thing, it's just people get consumed by one game or a bit of a run of games and make final decisions. You can't sit there and tell me that one of the most creative players in the Premier League wouldn't have made a difference to that team yesterday. That wasn't a terrible performance by Arsenal. It was just the final third. One player couldn't hold the ball up, couldn't do certain things, and ultimately it does affect the team. Of course it affects the team. But listen, man, right now, Arsenal aren't playing well. Odegaard's going to get all the stick because he's the captain. But you can't sit here and say to me the same way how right now, what's his name? Why are we not talking about Haaland got subbed off? Is he crap all of a sudden?
No, he's injured.
No.
He got an injury.
No, but my point is that even in
To
the
be
first
fair.
half, no, okay, first half he was still playing. He didn't score a goal, and you scored what 4 goals. So what is he crappled or 3 goals?
Well, yeah, that's what people say. To be fair,
Exactly.
the minute
This
he
is my
doesn't
point,
score,
Luke.
it's mad. Oh, it is 100%, bro.
This is my point. People go so hyperbolic to say, "Whoa, oh my God, they scored," and then what happens? You look more free flowing in the second half. Oh well, Man City look better without Haaland. It is so stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's not Kunle saying. What I'm saying is,
no, you're spot on with it, Lee. Spot on.
Like, oh, how can Odegaard, the most creative or one of the most creative players in the Premier League, not be a miss to a team that has no creativity currently? And it just makes no sense, man. Let's just get all the Spurs players because they're better than Arsenal players right now. Like, that's just the way it is.
It makes a lot of sense what you're saying. But what I mean is he wouldn't have made a difference for me yesterday because I don't think we figured out our midfield. So he's not been allowed to be effective in that setup of midfield. Yeah, maybe he could have made a difference, but this season, because of how our is looking, I just don't believe that would have been the difference maker yesterday. I hear what you're saying, though. He is definitely the difference maker in Arsenal.
The only thing I would say, is I'm not going to say the Odegaard would 100% made a difference yesterday. Are we really doing up Havertz versus Odegaard? Like real talk, are we really doing it? Like, I can't even hear you, couldn't. But that same way, I'm not going to take nothing away from Newcastle, bro. Like, Newcastle also had a missing players yesterday. They missed Isaac. They had to put Gordon up front. You know, they got a guy that's out because of betting and all that kind of stuff. Like, they're both missing players. Sven Botman, they didn't even have their best defense.
Well, I mean? No, you're right. But if I go back, if I counteract that, you're right. You are right. They were missing players. But firstly, the type of players they were missing in comparison to the type of players we're missing, there's a huge drop. There's a huge gap. Partey, Odegaard, Jesus. We've seen what Jesus, how good he is. The guy's got I think he's one of the top goal scorers in the Champions League. I think with 3 goals so far this season. Odegaard, we know how good he is. We know how good that Partey is. We know how, like, for me, I just think it does make I just think when you look at it, I think it's different between when Man United are missing Luke Shaw and all of these players because they're Lissandro Martinez. I don't feel like they're, oh my God, that you're missing and you're going to start playing like Harlem Globetrotters. You're not going to have a massive difference. I do think that Arsenal players missing makes such a difference to the way we're playing.
That's such a naive statement.
It is what it is, man. Like, it is what it is.
I think you can't really say that. Like, they wouldn't make a difference. You're playing Johnny Evans, mate. Come on.
My point is, when you've played your strongest team, you've still not played good football. We've not seen it once under Ten Hag, is what I'm saying. With our top players, you've seen a massive difference in the way that we play. It's not like conjecture. That is facts, isn't it? You've seen Arsenal play way better with our first team, strongest team, in comparison. When Luke Shaw's played, when Lissandro Martinez has played, when Casemiro's played, when Rashford's played, you still got bopped off the park. That's just how it's looked for me. But listen, man, as I said, football is so subjective and it is what it is. But I don't know, man. I just think that Newcastle's win is being really overplayed. But they're gonna say I'm making excuses and all sorts. So I'm not bothered. It is what it is. Let's see, man.
Yeah. But yeah, like, moving on as well. I can't lie. Look, a lot of people don't like Man City. I hear it, but we have Man City fans to appease to, and we have talent to appease to. That man Jeremy Doku is something else. That man is special. If you see a graph of take-ons and successful dribbles, he's so far in his own lane, it's mental. I don't think it'll be hard to catch up with him even after another 10 games, whether it's Saka, Martinelli, whoever you want to call out. Even St. Maximan couldn't get there, and he was like master dribbler. Doku has got this one move that kills teams. The way he shifts his shoulder and can do it again, 4 assists and a goal. If you had fantasy football and you triple captain that guy miraculously at this point, you've won football, man. Because that's crazy. You've done football fantasy football. That's 3 games worth of points. Mental, like that's mental, man. Ridiculous.
Do you know, it's funny that in the week, I think Thursday or Friday in Pep's press conference, he was speaking on Doku and saying how how important he is and how he brings a new element to City and his talent, but also that for his age, how he's been impressed with how Doku listens and basically what Pep's telling him to do. And I saw that from the start. His decision making seems to be so on point, where he knows where to take it back to the way City want to play football, the Pep way, and where actually now, do you know what, I'm going to beat a player. And he seems to be making the right decisions of knowing when to do which one. And it just seems, it's very refreshing, because I feel like Pep has this view of wingers that they can't, as old-fashioned wingers, that maybe they can't play football the way he wants to play football. But it's shown again, like that both can work. Both can work as long as they're. And what it's done is it provided us something new. Firstly, for the fans, because sometimes I spoke on this before. This old, this City way of doing things, which is very patient, waiting for space to open up, moving the ball about, positioning. That sometimes when you're inside a stadium can get a little bit lethargic, right? When you've got a winger that just picks up the ball and goes at a man, it lifts the whole crowd instantly. And Pep spoke on this last night. Look, the guy's unreal. But also, I think, of course, we're going to speak on him because, look, he got 4 assists and a goal. But I think it's other things in there. I think Bernardo Silva again yesterday was just unbelievable. And that's the thing. It's him and Doku together just seemed... That's the funny thing. On Sunday against Man United, Grealish and Bernardo Silva got each other. Yesterday, Doku and Bernardo Silva got each other. And it was just a great performance.
Because before I'll be honest with you, right? I mean, I'm going to sound like a real hater, but I'm not that moved. I think Bournemouth, listen, it was great. He got 4 assists and a goal or whatever it was, but it's Bournemouth. Like, I'm not going to lose my head. Bournemouth are, if Sheffield United and the other 2 teams, Burnley and Luton, weren't in the Premier League, they'll be going down.
League. Remember when you beat Bournemouth last year, 3-2?
Yeah.
Was it Reece Nelson that came on and got all the plaudits for getting 2 goals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What I'm saying though, like, is again, it wasn't necessarily the plaudit. It was because we scored a last minute goal. But anyway, more to the point, I just feel like Sane made a massive impact when he came into your team, and I feel like he
not 4 assists and a goal.
I know, but I'm just
also not this immediate.
I'm just looking at the.
No, it took him. It took Sane. You know what? Actually, that's a point. It took Leroy Sane 6 months to land at Manchester City. 6 months, right?
You know what they always talk about first season and adapting to Guardiola.
I saw Sane
you don't need that.
Liverpool.
No, but hold on, Lee. But you saw Leroy Sane for 3-4 years. In the first 6 months at Manchester City, you didn't see Leroy Sane. First, Leroy Sane hardly featured until January when Jesus came in, and we switched to playing Jesus, Sterling, and Sane and dropped Aguero. Before that, Sane actually struggled to embed himself into the Manchester City team. And that's the thing, it's the fact that Doku has come in as a winger in a Pep Guardiola system and hit the ground running. I think that's what we're giving him plaudits for. Look, I get it. If in 3 years' time, he needs to do a lot more for us to say Leroy Sane level, but he's been here for 2 minutes, bro. Like 2 minutes.
Listen, props to the guy. I'm not gonna go crazy, because ultimately I'm looking at it and I'm thinking he was a fantastic yesterday, but he's not done it against every team like that every game. Like, I just think, can we give a bit of context? But as I said, it is what it is, man. Like, fair play to the guy. I just feel like Sane came in and didn't come
in and do it though. It took him 6 months to land.
Again,
no, you can feel, but there's facts as well. Like, he didn't, bro. He didn't even feature till January. Like, he's playing an odd game here and there.
Fair enough. Listen, man, you know your team better, but yeah, I'm not that moved, man. It's Bournemouth. So the same way how, again, if I want to do the hyperbolic thing like everyone else does, I saw him play against Arsenal, the same Arsenal team that are crap, right? And he got locked up on both sides. So
how long was he on the pitch for in that game? Remind me.
The Reece James test next week.
There you go, and that's all I'm saying. Like, if I'm doing the same thing everyone else does, then the hyperbolicness is I saw him get locked up in games. So like, that's what everyone else does, right? So
yeah. Locked up in every game, right?
That's what everyone else. You know the game. You know the game. Right?
Yeah, 100%. Apart from that, I'm trying to think other standout players yesterday. I think the other talking point probably is, like Lee said, how when Haaland came off, how City I think we scored 3 in the first half, 3 in the second half.
But I've seen that happen with City before.
Once you score 3, that's where the floodgates open. But I do think it's very. We said this last season. And luckily, Pep's come out and said Haaland might be back for Tuesday, might be back for Saturday. But it's not. It was more of a precaution, so it's not anything to worry about. But it is a promising sign, and I think it shows how we're starting to cook. Like, we've got a lot of players that know how to play that 10 role. I think that is what I'd say. We've got a lot of players that know how to play the 10 role. And if Alvarez has to move through the middle, if we have to play Foden as a false 9 or whatever, I think that at the moment, it definitely isn't a case of if Haaland gets injured, City aren't going to score. Like, it's not going to be that. But yeah, good performance. I think the only thing that we did see, which was probably disappointing, is a clean sheet would have been good. But shock when Rodri comes off. And it does seem to, in games when Rodri comes off, especially when you make 3 changes and Rodri being one of them, teams get this 5-minute period where City are trying to get back into place and work out. And they got us in that 5-minute period, is what it is. But good result. And midweek Champions League game, then we're over to you, man, Lewis. Got you next weekend, innit?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Well, listen.
Mate. Chris said, sorry, how deluded only City have more goals than Newcastle and we have 10 first team players out. Burn will be out for 3 months. What?
For real? He got subbed off because of an injury?
The back injury, 3 months?
Damn, for a back injury.
Crazy. You, man, I got a back though.
Lovely. Bless.
Love.
We're gonna. I just want to touch on the last part, anyways, before we do wrap up, anyways, because we might not hear from you, and I doubt we will. What are you saying tomorrow, Lewis, for Spurs? Are you confident?
Cautious optimism. We apparently play better against the better teams, so show it. Get me some results. Like, Tottenham can be beaten. Obviously, they haven't been beaten yet, but they're not going unbeaten the whole season. I think we'll defend well. I think we'll have a good game in the midfield. Obviously, they got a great midfield as well, but I think we can step toe-to-toe with them with the right one. It's just, do we bury our chances or not? I can't come in here and say we're going to bury our chances. They have to show me that, but we're capable of going to Tottenham and getting a result. Plus, we always seem to be crap for months and then just turn up whenever Tottenham come round. It's just a thing with the club. So I'd anticipate us to play well. Whether we win or not, we'll have to see tomorrow.
All right, a little insight there, man. Lewis is not confident, but I feel like in your voice, yeah. I'll say you think you can still get a result, though, innit?
Hey, a result to me is a win. Like, I'm not taking a draw unless we come back last minute or something.
Yeah, I agree. But you know what? We're gonna dip as well. Someone's got dinner with their parents. Someone else has got to go clean, and another has got another stream. But other than that, we're going to be back tonight at 10, and we're going to go more in depth probably about Spurs and Chelsea, go more in depth about Man United and Ten Hag. So it should be a good stream, good panel and everything. So big up to all you got.
And we appreciate everyone that's here watching us. And listen, if you continue to support us, thank you. If not, thank you for supporting us up till now. And we respect your decision, and we wish Mo nothing but the best of luck.
Yeah, man. In a bit.